Hello and a very good day everyone. So today we will learn on Power Query. As you can refer in this particular file, we do have a data which has the organization and we have the details like year, revenue, cost all located in one column. And then we have the figures like 2019 and also the respective accounting items like the values for revenue, cost and also the other details as well. So basically what we want to do is we want to actually transpose the data whereby the year, revenue and cost also appear in a column format. And not only that, we also want to calculate the profit. So the profit is calculated when you deduct the revenue and the cost. So how actually am I supposed to transform this data into this format? So let's get started. So the first thing is when you want to transform a data, first and foremost you need to highlight the data. So I'll press Ctrl A to highlight the data, and then I'll go to data and I click from table/range. Once you click from table/range, a box will appear, and what you need to do is you just press OK. So once you press OK, you will notice that the data will appear eventually. So right now we have these details over here. So basically I want the data to have like 2A, 1B, 2019, 2020 and also the respective details. So how I'm going to transform the data? Okay, so the first step is we need to classify the year, revenue and cost. So if you notice there is a pattern over here. So what I need to do is I go to add column and I click index column. Index column will show a sequence from number from 0 to 8 because we have about 9 items, so it will show to 0 to 8. And then this particular column, what I'll do is I'll click the standard and divide integer. So why I choose divide integer? Because I want to actually show a number which has no decimal places. If you look here, we have a pattern over here: year, revenue, cost, year, revenue, cost, year, revenue, cost. So we do have 3 separate data and it's in a sequence. So I put here 3 and I press OK. So here we have 001122, and then I'll do the same thing. I select the index column, I go to transform, and then I go to standard, I click modulo. So modulo is basically showing the remainder. Okay, so I'm going to click this and I put 3 again and I press OK. So now it has a pattern like 012, 012, 012. So this is where I want to do some transformation. So I don't want this. I'll just remove this particular column. I select the index, I go to pivot column. Click pivot column and I want to do the pivot column for detail. So I click here detail and advanced option, instead of sum I choose don't aggregate because I don't want to sum the numbers. I want to compile it but without aggregating it. And then I press OK, and just like that now we have the data. So this column you can actually remove. So right now we do have this. So this one I'll rename it as year. This one I'll rename as revenue. I'll rename this as the cost. So now we have year, revenue, cost. So now the column is we need to know the profit. So how to do is we just select these 2 columns, and then what we do is select these 2 columns, go to add column, and then once you go to add column, standard subtract. So once subtract, you will have this data over here, and what I'll do is I'll just put it here profit. So now this is the details. So I'll go to home, close and load, close and load to. So once you press close and load to, a box will appear. I want existing sheet, I want somewhere over here, and I press OK. And just like that, we will have the details. So we have the years, we have the revenue, we have the cost, and also we have the profit. So now you just see I have a new data. For example, here I put here C, 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 and then I'll put here the year, I'll put here the revenue, and I'll put here the cost. And just see the year I put here 2021, revenue I put here 9,000, and cost I put here 5,000. So if you notice, I have added a new data. So when I press right click and refresh, you will notice the data will automatically reflected.